All right, to start back on point two here, within each chunk, there's going to be, right, within each group of words, there are going to be words that are stressed, as I was saying at the end of the last video. Now, the point, and it's not too hard to figure out, the words that are stressed in English are the words that hold content meaning, right? The words that tell us what the sentence is really about, not those little grammatical words that connect ideas, but the words that really show us what the ideas are. So, for an example, if I said, the party was really awesome, right? The words the, was, they're not really telling me what we're talking about. But the word party, if all I heard was the word party, I would know what the theme of the topic was, what we were talking about. So think about as you're practicing pronunciation, the words that really hold meaning and content are going to be stressed, and then the words that are not the content words are going to be unstressed and therefore shortened and kind of pushed together a little more. So let me read the sentence again, and I want you to now, let me pull up my mouse here so you can see. I want you to now look at this and listen to these bold words and then also these capital words, which are showing the words that, from what I think of this sentence, are the most stressed words. So my name is William Kukwamba, and to understand the story I'm about to tell, you must first understand the country that raised me. So can you hear that words like my, is, and, to, the, about, they're not being emphasized, right? They're just like connecting the ideas in the sentence. But the words the word name, William Kakwamba understands story, right? That's important because he's talking, his whole thing is about a story. And so you can hear that there's a little more time given and a little more emphasis given to these words, which is what helps to create this rhythm in English. So let me read it again for you. My name is William Kukwamba, and to understand the story I'm about to tell, you must first understand the country that raised me. Okay? So these are basically the main 2 points that I wanted to get across. Stress, the second one, and the first one, which was chunking, right? So we chunk them together, and then we emphasize the big words, the content words. So the third point really isn't a new point. It's just the idea that this takes practice. You're going to have to practice it, listen for it, and try and reproduce it. And the more you do that, the better you're going to get and the clearer your speech is going to be. And you won't be making pauses in places where you shouldn't, and you'll be emphasizing words that should be emphasized. And one quick thing before we go, just can give you another example of why this is important. Let me read this sentence how I've heard some of my students read this sentence, where they're really focusing on how to pronounce the words and not really thinking about how do the words what is the relationship of the words within the sentence? How does that affect the overall pronunciation? So reading it as someone who is not focusing on this might read it, it might sound something like, my name is William Kakwamba, and to understand the story I'm about to tell, you must first understand the country that raised me. Okay? So try to go from something like that to, my name is William Kakwamba, and to understand the story I'm about to tell, you must first understand the story, the country that raised me. Okay? Cool. So next one is practice, and I'm going to let you do this on your own, right? So you're just going to practice pronouncing this paragraph. Of course, I'll pronounce it for you so you can listen to it over and over to really help you, and then you'll practice pronouncing it on your own. So to listen to it, the machine was ready. After so many months of preparation, the work was finally complete. The motor blades were bolted and secured, and the chain was taut and heavy with grease, and the tower stood steady on its legs. The muscles in my back and arms had grown as hard as green fruit from all the pulling and lifting. And although I'd barely slept the night before, I'd never felt so awake. My invention was complete. It appeared exactly as I'd seen it in my dreams. Okay, so rewind that, listen to it again a few times, and then practice pronouncing, grouping the words, those little tiny sections, little tiny chunks, blending those, meshing them together a little bit, and then pronouncing the big content words with a bit more emphasis. And you're going to sound like an expert in no time. So I'm going to go to the next page, actually, because there's a few more practice activities, and I just want to pronounce them for you so that you can then do the practice activities on your own. So the next practice activity to help you get better at this is to practice these phrases here. Practice saying them together. Practice blending the words so that they are connected in one stream. And that's going to help you a lot. It's going to become a natural thing for you to not say the phrases separately, but to blend them together. Okay, so I will just say each phrase and you can rewind the video as much as you want to practice how they sound. So I'll start with noun phrases, which are phrases that have nouns as the main part, and again, verb phrases and prepositional phrases, which are the main types of phrases we have in English. So starting here, going down noun phrases. The sad little kitten. The sad little kitten. A dozen roses. A dozen roses. Again, I don't say a dozen roses, I say a dozen, a dozen roses. 7 little children. Those hilarious clowns. My parents. Those kids. Okay, verb phrases. Ran quickly. Not ran quickly, but ran quickly. Ran quickly. It just, the sound continues. Ran quickly. Ate the fish. Ate the fish. Not ate the fish, but ate the fish. Ate the fish. Is fishing. Is fishing. Strumming the guitar. Oh, totally read that wrong. Strummed the guitar, past tense. Strummed the guitar. Are you? Are you? Crashed it. Crashed it. Not crashed it, but crashed it. Okay, prepositional phrases. Into the water. Into the water. Not into the water. Into the water. Into the water. Over the fence. Over the fence. Over the fence. Around my face. Around my face. Now, do you hear that one? I'm not saying around my face. I'm just saying around my face. Around my face. Around my face. Under the bed. Under the bed. Under the bed. To her. To her. Before the party. Before the party. Okay? So these are phrases that would get pronounced a little more quickly, right? To group them together. And again, that bold word is going to get a bit more emphasis, the content word in the phrases. Okay, and then your last section here, and then we're done, I guess 2 sections, is to practice the following sentence until you can say it fluently. And then if you're really excited to try and actually divide where the chunks are and the emphasized words in the last paragraph there. So I'll read both of those and then you can just practice at home as much as you would like. So the sentence here, right here, I went to the store and bought a dozen roses. I went to the store and bought a dozen roses. I went to the store and bought a dozen roses. Okay, and then the paragraph. The other day, I went to visit my grandparents, which is something I love to do. I love my grandparents so much because they are the best people I know. My grandmother prepared my favorite meal for me. We visited and ate the delicious meal together. Then we went for a walk. My grandparents live in the countryside, so there are many beautiful places to go. Okay, so I know I read that kind of quickly, so I'll read it one more time, a little bit more slowly, just to help you, okay? The other day, I went to visit my grandparents, which is something I love to do. I love my grandparents so much because they are the best people I know. My grandmother prepared my favorite meal for me. We visited and ate the delicious meal together. Then we went for a walk. My grandparents live in the countryside, so there are many beautiful places to go. All right, that's all. I hope you enjoyed this video and got some good ideas out of it. Have an excellent day. Bye.